And welcome back, Retriever fans. Another edition of the UMBC Baseball Weekly Report. Head Coach Liam Bowen recapping the week that was. Looking ahead to the week that will be, Coach. As always, welcome in.
Yeah, good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me.
So the Retrievers coming off of a tough 0-4 weekend against NJIT at Alumni Field this past weekend, dropping to 14-18 overall, 9-18 in the America East. Coach, just a quick recap of the weekend.
Yeah, clearly not our best work. I think that's pretty obvious. Right now, we're going through a tough stretch. We're combining being a very young team with being a very injured team. We're missing some key pieces. Guys, some of them we've been missing for a while. Some of them we've kind of done most or all of the year without, and now we're starting to add to that with some guys. So that being said, number one, you give credit to NJIT. They're the hottest team in our league right now, and deservedly got these victories this weekend. I don't want to diminish that. They did a good job and well coached and played hard. For us, it was disappointing, frankly, that some of the guys that got opportunities due to some of the guys we're missing weren't able to do a little bit more with them. We're hopeful that we can improve in that area as we move forward in the rest of the year. And we're also we're learning a lot from this season. I think we're learning, and that's always kind of been a big part of our focus with this young group this year. But we're learning how we're going to have to move forward so that we can contend for championships again, like we've done in the past. And part of that is my role. Part of that is with the makeup of our staff, we're balancing me being the head coach and being the pitching coach. And frankly, like I've gotten that balance out of whack. It's clear. We're even with the guys we're missing, I think we should be pitching better than we did this weekend. We have enough talent and enough work ethic there. And it's up to me to as the leader to start making those adjustments, kind of rebalancing my time, going back to getting really connected with the pitching staff the way I was in the past, where I felt like I was making a difference with that position group. And as we as coaches make adjustments, starting with me, in time, I know that we'll make adjustments as a program and perform up to our capability the way we have at many times this season. It's not like, it's not like we haven't been competitive in the America East, but this was clearly our worst weekend, and we absolutely need to learn from it, and we will.
And then you mentioned being a young team, having so many injuries. What have you seen, though, from this team to show that growth as you start moving towards the end of this regular season?
Well, we got a really good competitive spirit. I think if you saw our dugout all the way through the weekend, those guys weren't down. Those guys, didn't stop competing. It's not that we laid down. It's just that we didn't play well enough. And in particular, we didn't pitch well on the balance of the weekend. That's really what hurt us. So the spirit is there. We clearly have some good young talent. We have guys who are having some good individual seasons. We're just right now, partially due to the youth, partially due to guys we're missing, partially due to some, a need for some growth and to continue to get better. We're just an incomplete team. We're just a team that doesn't have kind of all the boxes checked that you need to be up at the top of the conference standings. And we've been punished for that, but we can learn from that too. I've been through this process in the past, Dave. I even told our team the other day about our 2014 team where I was an assistant coach, where we lost at one point 11 straight conference games in 2014. I went back and looked that up. That was tough to live through. We were young at that point as well. And what happened the next year is we added some key pieces, which we anticipate doing. Feel really good about the work that's been going on, particularly with Coach Terrell, our recruiting coordinator, and the rest of the staff. With the guys we got coming in, we got some guys healthy. That had been missing the previous year. We had great leadership from the players. We had an awesome group of guys. And the next year, we were one of the best teams in history of UMBC. We went 34-20. We played for the conference championship. So that future's out there for us. We just have to go and seize it. And it's not going to come to our doorstep tomorrow, but it's something that we can absolutely build towards. And we can build towards with the attitude and spirit of these guys. They've done a great job managing COVID and getting through that storm. We're obviously with the vaccine and everything, we're hopeful is going to continue to get better and put us in a good position for the 2022 season. But that's our task right now, is we gotta chase down that growth and continue to develop individual pieces that can be part of the next, championship contender here at UMBC. So little bit of a shift there. and kind of making sure we're really future directed and really building. But that's always been a big part of our focus in 2021, just due to our youth and having so many new guys.
And then one of those guys that really stood out this weekend, Matt Clark, came off the bench, didn't get a lot of time early on in the season, but had a couple of big hits, drove in a bunch of runs, and was the starter at second base on Sunday. Just talk about him, and again, we've talked about it all year, the depth, but being able to bring a guy like that on after, your team's struggling through the weekend, but a guy like that who had success this weekend.
Yeah, he was one of the guys who got an opportunity that I thought seized it. Number one, phenomenal teammate. Like a guy whose season probably hasn't gone the way he anticipated or the way that he hoped. I think at one point he was out injured for a while, and has recently come back from that. An injury picked up in practice. So the way that he, I can't say enough about the way that he has kept his just his selflessness and his investment in his teammates strong, even when he wasn't necessarily seeing the benefits of his work. It was great to see him personally get rewarded for that. Our team's already been rewarded for his competitive spirit and his care for his teammates, because he's really, honestly, he's one of the best teammates. He's in that top category of teammates I've ever coached in terms of his selflessness. It's awesome, and he can play too. He can swing it a little bit. He's a reliable defender. He jumped on the mound and pitched a little bit for us, closed out a game. He's a good baseball player. He just, he's been edged out a little bit and a little bit hurt, and now he's starting to get some more opportunity. And because of his spirit, because of, how he's maintained his mentality, he was in a position to seize it. It was awesome to see. Can't say enough good things.
And then you mentioned it too, that the team never really seemed to get down. They always seemed to be in it, always seemed to be energized, even though things weren't really going your way this weekend. Just kind of talk about that, building that culture within the team, knowing that even though we're down and things aren't going our way, we're still in the game. You still have that mentality that you're going to come back and win every game. Absolutely.
Number one, it's mandatory in our program. It's something that we stress. It's something that's going to be mandatory. It has been in the past, but it's going to be mandatory going forward in terms of finding the guys that are going to win with us when it's time for us to win. I think it is a precursor to kind of sustained on-field success. There's no road to win that doesn't go through having a championship culture. And what a championship culture is to me, and our guys know this, is being radically selfless and completely reliable. We want guys who always put the team in any situation and can be counted on to deliver their character and their skill set as a baseball player anytime we call their name. So we have a lot of those guys. We don't necessarily have everybody lined up in the positions that we need to be successful as a baseball team as consistently as we want to be. We saw that this weekend, but we really do have a good group of guys who have done a great job with everything we've asked of them. Now, I should say we have like a good core group and a good nucleus that we can absolutely build on. We're continuing to work every day, but that core piece is there, and it's going to give us a platform these next 3 weeks to finish the season out strong and continue growing, and to be, I think, a good team in future years. I think we have a chance to make a jump in future years with these young guys. I am really excited about that.
And now as we start looking ahead to this weekend, second time around with the division opponent, starting with Binghamton up on the road, just talking about how you're playing this team a second time in 2 weeks, but you're playing all these teams in the division again a second time. Does it make it easier? Does it make it harder having not only played them recently, but seeing them once in live action, picking up on some certain things that some players might not like at the plate, on the mound?
Yeah, I think when you write scouting reports and look at video and so forth, it's all a little bit theoretical. Seeing what they did in the past, and you're trying to put together kind of a theory of the case on how they'll approach your team. It's not really theoretical. With us in Binghamton right now, they know how we approached them 2 weeks ago. We know how they approached us, and there'll be some adjustments and so forth that both teams, I'm sure, will make. They're, like every team in our league, they're well coached. They'll see how we try to get them out, or how we swung it against them last time, and be able to try and put themselves in the best. I'm sure we're going to do the same thing. That's how it goes. I like it. I like the idea of playing somebody home and away. I think they're a good opponent. like every team in the America East, and they'll be a good challenge for us. So I like the idea of our team getting them focused on playing our best baseball and meeting those guys in the center of the ring and kind of seeing what we get. Because it's going to be another weekend of opportunity with guys down and maybe guys missing and so forth. And hopefully we have more Matt Clark to talk about on this thing next week, because that's what you want to see as a coach. You want to see guys prepare for their chance, get their chance, and run with it. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, it'd be great to see another guy like Matt Clark come off the bench or having another strong weekend to talk about next week.
Absolutely.
But looking ahead now to Binghamton, we talked about it a little bit, but what are they going to bring, having seen them 2 weeks ago? What is it going to take to get a couple of wins up in Binghamton?
I thought we played well in that series 2 weeks ago. It doesn't feel like it because we were like I said, it was our worst weekend of the year, the past weekend, but we were really playing okay up to that point. I thought we kind of let game 4 slip away at our place. We had a really good chance to win that series. Thought we swung it really well against those guys. They're a team that is going to be solid on the mound. It's not going to beat themselves. They're always a reliable team. They always have guys that are competitive strike throwers. For us, it's not a secret. Anybody familiar with baseball, it starts on the mound. And like I said, we weren't good enough this weekend. We had been trending okay, and in the past maybe couple of weeks, we haven't pitched the way that we need to be in contention here. So I'm eager to see those guys bounce back. I think that's where it starts. If we can get better starting pitching, if we can start games better, because we started games I thought really poorly this weekend, both pitching and defense. If we can start games better, I think we're going to have to win. If we don't start games better, it's going to be an effort just to have a chance to win, and that's obviously a position you never want to be in. So that's where it's going to start. First inning, being able to hit the ground running, and if we can do that, then I like our chances to be competitive throughout the series.
All right, great stuff as always, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right, go Dogs.
Go Dogs. The Retrievers back in action up in Binghamton this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Both games and both days on America East TV starting at noon. Then they come back home to take on Stony Brook in the final home series of the regular season next Saturday and Sunday. Also noon starts both days on America East TV. Keep up to date, as always, with UMBC Baseball on the Athletics website at umbcretrievers.com and the team's Twitter page at UMBC Baseball.